As before we get into today's video, please like and subscribe. I have a question for you. Do you want a subpar doctor, a subpar lawyer, a subpar pilot? Do you want subpar any occupation really taking care of you in any way, shape, or form, or even providing a service to you? Probably not. But with diversity, equity, and inclusion, this is your reality.
Guys, what's up, y'all, man? This your boy Mazo, Magical Poem. Now, the careers that she just listed, you can't be subpar at any of them motherfuckers. Because to be a doctor, you have to go through medical school. You have to go to college. Then you have to go to medical school. Then you have to have like 3 to 7 years of residency after that. And they're gonna be checking on you on a regular to see if you want to up and up. So you have to go through a whole goddamn gauntlet in order to get these careers. You have to pass the bar if you're a lawyer, flight school. You think they're gonna let a subpar pilot fly a plane? No. So all these are just white supremacist talking points, guys. I'm pretty sure a lot of this information that she's gonna give, that she's gonna spew out, she's probably got this shit from Charlie Kirk. And Charlie Kirk wasn't a reliable source because Charlie Kirk made up shit a lot of times. He misquoted articles. He intentionally lied to his audience all the time.
Now, this video in particular that we're going to talk about today has been sparking a huge conversation online. It's gotten millions upon millions of views, and it's pissed off a lot of people. Because you're going to watch as a young black female student gets accepted into medical school with a 2.7 GPA and a sub 500 coat and everything. The quiet part is not being said out loud here, and I'll go ahead and say the quiet part out loud. She probably did not deserve this spot in medical school. Actually, if we look at the average of the scores that are accepted into medical school, she definitely did not deserve her spot in medical school. And you have to kind of go out on a strong limb here and say she probably got this position by virtue of being a black woman, with things like DEI and affirmative action being the basis for a lot of these decisions and who gets accepted into these schools.
That's a lie. That's not what DEI is. See, guys, once again, these are white supremacist talking points. I'm sure she got this information from Charlie Kirk, because that shit he was saying, that's not what DEI is. You see, DEI is a system or a program, whatever you want to call it, that helps people get the opportunities to get the skills and to get the resources so they can get hired. It's not a system to get black people hired or Hispanic people hired. No, that's not what it is. It's a system to help you get the opportunity to get the skills and the resources so you can get hired. That's what DEI is. This old bullshit, this old white supremacist narrative that Charlie Kirk made up, that DEI gets black people hired and gets Hispanic people hired. That's not true. He made that up. And this woman right here, guys, these black MAGAs, they don't do their research. They just spew white supremacist talking points. They're not a reliable source either. And not only that, if the shoe was on the other foot and that was a white woman who got into that school, nobody would have said anything. Because white people have always got preferential treatment. Guys, for decades, and it still goes on to the day. It still goes on today. There are white people who get into schools that don't even qualify just because who their parents is. That still happens to this day, and that's been happening for decades. It always happened like that. And it still happens to this day.
Which means likely she beat out, without earning, a white student spot, an Asian student spot.
Oh Lord, y'all. These are white supremacists talking. These are these Charlie Kirk talking points, y'all. And then on top of that, she has to throw Asian people in there. So that's why I know this is like one of these Charlie Kirk talking points. Because you see, what the number one strategy for white supremacy is lying. And what Charlie Kirk did, he would throw Asian people in the mix as to use Asian people as a buffer to create a division between other minority groups. That is a white supremacist tactic. This is what white supremacy does.
And we can't talk about that apparently because you get called a racist or a bigot for
It
having that
is. Yep, it is.
conversation, but it's the reality. Now, here's
It
another
ain't no damn
video. When
reality.
people ask me how I got into medical school with a 2.7 GPA and a 498 MCAT, let's listen.
That's just how I'm doing, making music. Don't ask me how I did it. I just did it. It was hard.
Don't ask me how I did it. I just did it. It was hard. Was it though? Because you got in with subpar scores. It doesn't seem like it was hard enough for you to enter medical school. And I know how this can come off as somebody who is attacking a successful Black woman who has made it into medical school on her.
Yeah, you are. You are. And see, here's the thing. You're doing it to pander to your white base. And guys, well, hell, white people on the right. This woman right here, she don't give a fuck whether that woman made it into medical school. She don't care. She just making this video because she knows she's gonna make money because she knows that her base is a bunch of racist, low IQ, white ignorance. That's why she's making this video. That's why all these black MAGAs, these black conservatives make their videos. They don't. Let me tell y'all something. White people on the right, they don't like y'all like that. They really don't. They do not like y'all like that. If they was really being honest, everything that they would say would be balanced. But everything that they say is one-sided. It's always black people bad and white people good. They never criticize white people. They never have any criticism for white people because that's their base. Once again, their base are a bunch of racist, low IQ, knuckle dragging, white ignorance.
Own merit, but she hasn't made it into medical school on her own merit. In fact, she's been taking the spot of somebody who probably had far higher scores and a far better likelihood of being successful in
Yeah, and that could have been another black person.
medical school. As this person writes on X, the average GPA to get into a top medical school is about 3.9, and the average MCAT score is about 518 out of 528. And here we have a student with a 2.7 GPA and a sub 500 MCAT. What? And how do we think this is going to turn out when it comes to outcomes? And this has often been an argument against things like diversity, equity, inclusion, and affirmative action, that not only are you harming
in which white women benefited the most from both of them, but nobody's talking about that.
White and Asian students who have been performing well in school and deserve an opportunity in these higher education.
Guys, when they try to throw Asian people in there, guys, do not believe that. These are like articles that a racist white man made up. I'm pretty sure a racist wrote that article and made this shit up. Whenever they try to throw Asian people in there, what they're doing, they're just trying to use Asian people as a buffer to try to create division between other minority groups. That's what they're doing. So whenever they try to say, "Oh, you got that position over an Asian person," guys, that is a white supremacist tactic. And the number one strategy for white supremacy is lying.
Spaces, but also you are harming these Black students by putting them in an environment that they are not ready for. A 2.7 GPA with a 498 MCAT is not ready.
Bitch, get the fuck out of here. Now you're trying to make it seem like you care about the well-being of black people when you're talking against them. Fuck out of here. You motherfucking pick me.
For medical school, and she should have been told exactly that and placed on a process to get into medical school with actual good scores. But instead, she was allowed into the school at the expense of other students and at the expense of her own experience. And of course, a lot of people are bringing up the argument that this could have bad outcomes for the average American. If you're accepting students in medical school.
Oh, Lord, y'all. Like I told you, she's quoting Charlie Kirk. She's getting all her information from Charlie Kirk. I told y'all this shit. Guys, Charlie Kirk, he was not a reliable source. Charlie Kirk made up shit all the time. He misquoted and he misrepresented certain articles and facts. He would just make up shit. And he often misguided his audience because once again, he knows that his audience is a bunch of racist, low IQ, white ignorance. And he knows this shit that he's spewing about black people. And he always targeted black people. Whenever he mentioned DEI, he always pivoted to black people. And the facts are, black people benefited the least from DEI. So for Charlie Kirk can rest in piss. Racist bastard. You hear that down there, Charlie? It's hot down there, ain't it? Fuck out of here.
School with these subpar scores, how exactly are they getting out of medical school? How exactly are they becoming doctors? Are we then accepting subpar scores and subpar standards when it comes to metrics they are meant to meet within medical school and residency? Just a question. I don't know. And you know what? I'm going to bring up Charlie Kirk. And he was just criticized up and down for saying this, quote, "If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified," end quote. Now, he was called a racist and a bigot. This tweet.
He was. See, just because you're not saying the N-word, that don't mean you're not racist. See, what Charlie Kirk did, he did something what was called reasonable racism. Charlie Kirk, he was a white supremacist. He was a white supremacist. That's what he was. I don't care what none of y'all white people say. That's what he was. He was racist. He denigrated black people all the time. We got like over a decade of him mocking Black death. All his tweets are still up. So what are you talking about? Fuck Charlie Kirk. Rest in piss.
In particular that I'm referencing, this quote says the racist is dead. I have a question. Is it racist to be weary of, say, a black pilot, a black lawyer, or a black doctor?
Yeah, it is. It is. Because how many black pilots crashed a plane? They can't even tell you that. Has any black pilot crashed a plane compared to white people? How many white people crashed a plane? Last year, a white woman crashed a plane. Y'all didn't say that was DEI.
Doctor, when society is telling everybody that they don't necessarily have to meet the standards to get into these institutions of higher education. Now, does that mean that every black pilot, lawyer, doctor is going to provide?
Guys, let me tell you something. You can't be a goddamn subpar pilot. They take that shit serious. Aviation school and flight school, they take that very seriously. If you can't pass that shit, trust me, you will flunk out and you would not be a pilot. They're not going to let some subpar student get in there. They're going to make sure that you know everything that you need to know before you get on that plane, because that is a serious job, because you're dealing with other people's lives. So this is a very disingenuous take that she's doing. She's just regurgitating Charlie Kirk's talking points. And this is why I can't stand these black conservatives, man. Because that's all they do. They don't really do their research. They just, guys, once again, she's just regurgitating Charlie Kirk's talking points. She hasn't really done any research. She just repeating white supremacist talking points.
Substandard care or substandard service? Absolutely not. But you know what? Society and these higher institutions have actually done a disservice to these black pilots, lawyers, doctors by telling everybody that they deserve a leg up by virtue of being born with a particular skin color. Everybody loses when we live in a world that allows DEI to run rampant in this way.
Guys, DEI does not get you a job. DEI gets you the opportunity to get the resources and the skills so you can get the job. That's what DEI is. It's pretty much they help you get the opportunity to get the job, to get the resources, to get the skills, not the job. So this is a very disingenuous lie. That's not what DEI is. Once again, guys, I can't stress this shit more. She's getting all this shit from Charlie Kirk. And Charlie Kirk, he was not a reliable source.
You lose when you're a 2.7 GPA and a 498 MCAT getting into medical school. You lose when you're the student who doesn't get into medical school because she did. You lose when you're the patient of a doctor who was not ready to be in medical school. You lose when overall society is telling you that your skin color matters more than your merit and your character. It is a lose-lose situation for literally everyone involved. And this has been an ever-present problem within medical schools in particular, since we're talking about this singular video. I'll read you this from the collegefix.com. So there was a new investigation done.
Oh, Lord, yo. Check this out. I don't believe that. Guys, let me tell you something. I'm pretty sure whoever wrote that article was a racist white man. A racist wrote that article. Out of that, guys, they are not rejecting Asian students for black students with lower test scores. That's just not true. Then prove it. Prove it. Once again, guys, this is a strategy from white supremacy. What they do is they use Asian people as a buffer to try to create division between other minority groups. That's what they're doing. I don't believe whoever wrote that article is a racist. Because if that's the case, show us the proof then.
By Ian Kingsbury, who's the director of research at a place called Do No Harm. Now, this article writes that nearly every medical school reviewed accepted Black applicants had lower average MCAT scores than accepted white or Asian students. It's going to go even further than that, so hold on. More than a dozen medical schools reviewed.
Guys, this chick right here, this biracial pick me, she don't give a fuck. You actually think she cares? No, she don't. She does not care whether black people with low test scores getting into medical school or any kind of school. She don't care. Once again, she just making this video because she know that her base is a bunch of low IQ white ignorance, and that this is going to trigger their racist emotions.
Also accepted Black students with average MCAT scores lower than the average MCAT scores of rejected Asian and white applicants.
That's not true, guys. That's not true. That's not true. Show us the proof then. Guys, I'm willing to bet you whoever wrote that is a racist. A racist motherfucking white man wrote that article, or a racist white woman, a racist period wrote that damn article. Because the narrative the statistics show that Asian people are killing it out there as far as they beating everybody. So how are these people getting so rejected when they're beating everybody? Make that make sense. Asian people out-earn everybody. Asian men and Asian women out-earn everybody in America. So if they're getting rejected this bad, how are they out-earning everybody? Once again, guys, a racist wrote that article.
Now, this, of course, flies in the face of a lot of the work that's been done fighting against affirmative action and a 2023 Supreme Court decision.
Why? Because affirmative action gonna hurt y'all, not us. Because y'all, white people, the ones who benefited all affirmative action, not black people as much. You gonna hurt a lot of white women out there.
It ruled that affirmative action practices should no longer be allowed in colleges and universities, but still here we are with individuals like this being accepted into medical school. That is so wild to me. And of course, it's going to impact not only their future, the institution's future, but all of our futures. DEI is bad for everybody. You know what? Some people are dramatic and they say that DEI is killing people. This will quite literally kill people. Let's be honest about it. And you know what? We can be scared about being called racist and bigots and anti-black for making these statements, or we can just say what's true, get the cat out of the bag, address the elephant in the room, and let everybody know that it is not fair to be applying certain standards to a specific group of people and not the same standards to the other. It is unfair.
Well, then you need to tell white people the same thing then. Get the fuck out of here, you old biracial bitch. Bootlicking bitch. Carry your ass on somewhere. Guys, this is why I cannot stand these black conservatives, because they are so disingenuous. They sit up there and bootlick for white people all day. All they do is just sit up there and scroll online to look for shit that they can try to denigrate black people for their own people. This woman right here, she don't give two fucks whether that woman got into medical school or not. She don't care. She just caping for white folks. That's all she doing. But anyway, y'all, this your boy Mazo Capone, man. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe, man. Hype this video. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'm out.